Right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, year 4. Now, unfortunately, we have not been allowed to go back to school. And that is a problem because I don't get to see all your lovely, lovely faces. And it really upsets me because we can't do PE in the playground. However, we've just got to do it in our own house again. And some of you might not have space, some of you might not have the equipment that we have in school, but it's absolutely fine because we're at home, we're in a comfortable zone, and we're able to do the stuff that we really want to do. Now, it's going to be very, very different, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. And yes, Mr. Lyons still has his Christmas tree up in January. Some of you might as well, but Mr. Lyons also does. Right, so the equipment that we are going to be using today is going to be anything that we can turn over. So that might sound really silly to you, but I have cones because I'm lucky to have cones. I feel very fortunate, I'm very grateful to have cones. And there's stuff that we can turn over. So using your great brains, maybe you can use stuff that in your house that you can turn over. Some of you might have cones, some of you might have, as behind me, pillows. So you can turn that over. Some of you might have a ball you can turn. A small ball, big ball, little ball, you can use any of that. Some of you might have a teddy bear that you can use. Some of you might even have slippers. And that sounds really silly, but slippers you can turn over. Okay? So what's going to happen is that we're going to play the traffic light game. So red, yellow, green, blue. I don't know if you remember it, and there's another colour, I think it's purple. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But these colours are going to signify something different. So you're going to get all the equipment, pause the video if you need to, and go get the equipment. And I'll roughly say about between 5 and 8 items, and go spread them out in the space that you have. Hoping that you can see that. See, look, I'm just going to spread my items. I'm trying to have a little bit of fun. Spread my items out as much as possible. I've got all my items back up on the sofa over there, so I'm going to sort that out in a minute. So what's going to happen is that I will say red, freeze. I'm going to say yellow for moving around. I'm going to say blue for backwards, and green would be that the equipment that you can have and use to turn. I'm going to say green, I'm going to say go, and it means you're going to turn over the equipment as fast as possible. Now, I will always say red after, okay? And that means now, that now means that I'm going to give you a certain time limit, and that time limit's going to be in my head. So if you haven't done all of your turnovers, that means you ran out of time, unfortunately. Now, we're going to do that a couple of times, and then I'm going to turn it into a small competition between me versus you, whoever can do the most turnovers as much as possible, okay? Right, let's get started straight away, because I am bored of being sat down. So I'm just going to use my cones, and I might even use a couple of pillows. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go for 10. 10 pieces. Right, let's start very, very easy with a yellow. So yellow is just a walk around in between all of your equipment. I'm sorry you can't see my face, but I want you to see this also. The camera angle doesn't help at all. So you can see some, and if I move here, you can see my face. Perfect. So you can actually, 1 second, I'm really, really sorry for. That's much better. Perfect. Just hit on the cone. Right, yellow, moving around, and blue, backwards, and look over your shoulder. Look over your shoulder, we're going backwards, in and out. Good, and red. Stay frozen in that frozen spot, even with your legs up here. Stay frozen, and green. You turn all over, turn them all over. No competition with me yet, keep going. Stop! Some of you might not have got all all of your stuff. That's absolutely fine. And yellow. So right jog. Ah, I've gone backwards. That's blue. Silly, Mr. Lyons. Pillows. Whoop. Moving around. And blue. Backwards. In and out, backwards, in and out, making sure you try to not touch all of them. And green. Turn them all over. Time limits in my head. Ticking. Turn them all over. Stop. You may have not got all of your items, that's not a problem. Right, Mr. Lyons has 10 pieces of equipment. He has 2 pillows and 8 cones. 8, 2 is 10. So, what we're going to do is, Mr. Lyons, when he says go, he's going to turn over every single piece of equipment that he has. Now, if he does it before you, when he puts his hand up, like so, Mr. Lyons wins. And we'll play 3 games. If you do it before Mr. Lyons, you win. Now, it can be, I get a point, we can get a point, then the final point can decide who gets the point. Okay? Ready? And yellow. Go. Moving around. Mr. Lyons not moving around. And blue. Backwards. And yellow. Moving around. And green. Go. Stop. Hoping that I won, but you keep the score. Well done. And yellow. Off you go. Yellow. Moving around. And blue. Backwards. Using my arms as an action to show you. And green. Go. Stop. Mr. Lyons definitely won that point there. Ready? And yellow. You might think, oh yeah, he's not moving around though, he's just stood there. Yes, but if you move around, you get the chance to be in a better position. And blue. And yellow. And blue. Still going backwards. You thought I'd catch you out there. And I did. Ready? And yellow. And green. Go. Stop. Now, if you manage to beat me, well done. Make as much noise as possible. If Mr. Lyons won, that's my little celebration there. Right, this time you need to get rid of all the equipment, and we're going to be doing some shapes on the floor that you already know. I want you to do the shapes too. So there's going to be 2 shapes that we're going to do. The first one is going to be, everyone sit down in the bottom. First one is going to be that. Sorry, my iPad said low battery. First one is going to be that you're going to go over like so onto your shoulders, and then you're going to go back up to your feet. Now watch me carefully. So I'm going to go over, back up to my feet. Okay? Now some of you might find that really difficult, because it is quite difficult, and it took me a while to learn that. So some of you might be able to use your hands here. So you can go forward, or backwards, forward, use your hands, push up and get into the row position. I want to see that 2 times, please. Off you go. 2 times. Off you go. So the end of the video got cut out there. I do apologise here for. Don't know what went wrong, but we're meant to do the second exercise, but I will make sure that I add that in to the next lesson. So yeah, it was just ending it on the shoulders, back to your feet. If you need to use your hands, but please keep working it so you don't have to use your hands, so you can go straight up. Big challenge I'm setting there. So the way this is going to work is, yeah, So that'll be the end of our lesson. Thank you for paying attention and joining in. Leave a comment or reply if you enjoyed certain things, you want to see more things being done, and especially things that you want to do. Just keep one promise for me: keep smiling and keep enjoying the time that you have with your family at home. We will be back in school very, very soon. Take care. See you soon.